Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here again at Solana, double checking on some important factors here. We want to look at Solana and understand the fact that we are doing very, very well. We seem to be almost 2x of Bitcoin here recently when the price goes up. We just also got to recognize too that Bitcoin could in fact sell off and pull back to that lower fib level. And if that happens, we may see this 147 148 range retested. Again, that's a previous support range, has worked very well for us in the past, just based again on volume profile. So once again, we'll look at a few other key factors here, just kind of get perspective on what's going on. We never want to make a decision based on limited information. So let's take a quick peek at the back end, kind of see where I hear. So really quickly to note, before we get started, congrats to our community members here for some awesome profits on, Bitcoin. We took some healthy profits on the way up, 80% from 60,000 to 64.8. Then we shorted 64,800 down to about 63.5. So we got a good 20% on the way down. So again, you can ride the waves of each and every coin if you want, but you just got to be careful. We're kind of avoiding altcoins for the moment, but mostly because we're trying to catch that dip. If the price pulls back for altcoins, we're going to try to get in there. It's hard to catch a coin when it's running, which is what Solana's been doing. So we got to recognize that. If that is the case, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So just a quick note, we got some liquidation between 150 and 152. That's just kind of a friendly reminder that if the price does end up pulling back, that could be an area of retracement. And if we just take a look at larger time frames, there's actually not a ton of liquidation. Once again, 150 is kind of that average amount there, maybe about 750 million, it looks like, in that range. So nothing too crazy out of the ordinary here. 150, just to clarify, is this lower level. That's kind of an area that we're looking to get entry. Okay, so again, if we kind of zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see 150 is this guy right here. Okay. So in a perfect world, the price comes down to 148, 150. You get in for the next wave up. Again, we could be getting closer to the end of our wave. LA wave here at this point does propose that if we come down to the fourth wave down, we have one more leg up from here. So there's a good chance we're going to probably see the price continue further up here. But again, these are just all speculative situations because for the most part, these are all forming still and they're not official. So what we can take a look here at, and the thing that is fairly official, is the fact that we're above all moving averages and we're looking very, very strong there. So honestly, a pullback to that 148 range might be a bit of a lofty goal to be able to try to get in at that level, because that may never happen. If Bitcoin doesn't pull back, or just say it does, Solana looks like it's poised and ready to continue regardless of what Bitcoin thinks. Okay. Just keep in mind, we are traveling in a resistance range right now between 158 and 168. So that's a previous range that we've noticed that worked very well for a resistance. So we just got to kind of respect the fact that we're coming up to that 0.68 fib level, and that is commonly referred to as a golden pocket, just above that 0.65 to 0.618. This little area here will pose a lot of problems once we travel into that range. We're getting close. Okay, so just know, I don't think we're going to be able to shoot straight through there unless Bitcoin really goes parabolic. Once more, just the first attempt. Multiple attempts in the same area will provide a different story altogether, but at this point, the first time trying to travel into that 160 range, I think we're going to start seeing some rejection here soon. Having said all that, we're looking at a pretty solid bullish continuation situation here. So again, all that stuff I just mentioned previously, or just now, as a matter of fact, it really doesn't matter too much because we have a lot of convergence here. Okay, a lot of good signs showing the price action is more likely to increase. We're only about 4 days in continuation in here, and a lot of times these kind of things can happen for a good, 8 or 9 days in a row. So I do think Solana has tremendous potential to continue further up. We can see a pretty obvious bounce off this most recent 0.5 fib level. In fact, Bitcoin bounced off its 0.5 fib level as well, so that 155 could be the new bottom, because again, you got to keep in mind that was a previous top. Okay, so again, a lot of times when you see these previous lows or previous highs, they'll work as the opposite effect once you break through them. Okay, looking at the 4-hour time frame, let's recognize this. We are now kind of, sort of, for the most part, it's kind of wavering above and below. We are now below 50 on the RSI, 70 on the RSI, potentially trending towards 50. Now, keep in mind, a lot of this hinges on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's doing something very similar. In fact, the charts look very, very much identical in a lot of ways. And if you look at this here with Solana, we can recognize that us being back under 70 on the RSI is really just a situation in which you want to consider securing profits, right? So if you're in a long from 135 to 160, I'm not sure why you haven't secured profits yet, but trying to take that 1000x return and take it to 100x, or sorry, I did the math wrong on that, but you get it. Too much leverage causes too much problems. Just secure profits when you can, folks. There's no other way around it. This is not a guarantee. This is a very significant overextension, and the likelihood of the price pulling back is greater, because we look at this here, we had a 9 leading into this extra 9 or 10 candles. So we've been moving in the same direction for about 72 hours straight with zero correction, if you don't consider this small little dip here. So to me personally, I do think we're going to see the price pull back a little bit further. I hope I'm wrong, absolutely. Trust me on this, I do. I have a Solana bag as well, but I can tell you that at this point, you know, a lot of signs are pointing down for Bitcoin, at least in the immediate future here, and kind of we'll see obviously what happens. But the simple way to understand it is the 4-hour time frame looks bullish, but it's kind of this slight transition that's occurring where you should have secured profits on the long position by now. And if you hadn't, I'm not saying you should short at all, just saying that you might want to consider securing some profits because there's a lot of profits on the table here. All that being said, let's look at the Ichimoku cloud and kind of wrap this up here and discuss the simple fact that we still have a green light to leave your position open. Technically, this is a conservative indicator. And this is basically telling us that we're getting close to closing that window if the price doesn't move up right away. Okay. The key takeaway here, though, is that we have some support at 155, 156 based on the cloud and that previous most recent high and this fib level here. So keep in mind, even if the price does pull back a little bit, we may see a bounce off this 155 again, or that was a new low. Okay. What I want you to understand here is that 155 is a solid support level. So until it breaks below, we got to presume it's going to continue to work as a support. Again, that's generally how support levels work. Anyways, all this stuff here, I guess the easy way to summarize it is that I feel that Solana should pull back. It's due for a correction like most coins are, and Bitcoin included should retrace at least a little bit more before we see the next leg up. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the prices just go crazy high and that's it. But generally speaking, it would make more sense for Bitcoin to pull back to that 61K range roughly before we see this parabolic increase, even though this is a very, very strong start. All right, so the easy way to summarize it here is we got 156 as a support, and a secondary to that is at 148. So just remember that 148, 156, those are good dollar cost average targets or areas you want to consider adding or taking a long position. But I would not recommend a short, of course, even if the price does pull back. This is not a coin you want to try to short into. Again, that's just me personally, but I don't like shorting Solana. It's just too strong of a coin. It doesn't make a ton of sense. I hope I made sense with this. I want to say thank you so much again for watching and learning. To my community, we've got some awesome new features here. Again, we got this nice little trade alert section where I kind of provide you with updates on coins that I review, more specifically with exact areas of entry. And for example, we sent this out yesterday for Bitcoin, talking about 60K range being possible and that we're going to short at 64.8. What do you know? We did. We took some profits, and these are the profit targets here to look for. So they're kind of unofficial baby signals, if you will. Either way, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you learn something again. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a site. And obviously, if you want to join us over at BitUnix, excellent rewards here. This is an exclusive offer for my community. Link down below for that if you want to go ahead and join us over at BitUnix. Phenomenal exchange, no KYC VPN required. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.